10 evident signs that there is an evil person next to you. Have you ever felt the weight of negativity drain your energy, or wondered why some relationships feel like a constant battle? We all long for happiness, peace, and meaningful connections. Yet sometimes we unknowingly let toxic people into our lives, slowly undermining our well-being. Today we will explore the signs that can help you identify the subtle forces that threaten your peace. Recognizing them is the first step toward reclaiming your happiness and embracing a life of joy, authenticity, and inner strength. Stay with me as we dive into the truths that will set you free. Number 1. Dishonesty and deception. Every toxic relationship, whether personal or professional, there's often a web of dishonesty. People who lack integrity, those whose words and actions don't align, use deception to manipulate the truth for their gain. This dishonesty is not always obvious at first. It might come in the form of half-truths, clever omissions, or subtle lies, but over time, it reveals itself. Think about it. When you're around someone who is consistently dishonest, how does it make you feel? Distrust, confusion, and unease begin to take root. Instead of being empowered by clarity and truth, you feel drained and uncertain. This is not the way to live a happy, peaceful life. Deception poisons relationships, stunts personal growth, and erodes trust. It entangles you in a cycle of doubt, making it nearly impossible to move forward with clarity or confidence. No one should ever have to question the sincerity of the people they trust. So when you recognize dishonesty in someone close to you, it's a red flag, a signal to step back and reevaluate. True happiness comes from surrounding yourself with people who lift you up with honesty, transparency, and trust, not those who weave lies to control or manipulate. Number 2. Constant manipulation. One of the most insidious traits of a toxic person is their constant manipulation. Manipulators are masters at bending reality to their advantage, often preying on your emotions, insecurities, or desires to get what they want. They may present themselves as your friend, but their actions are designed to serve their own needs, at your expense. Think about how you feel when you're around someone who constantly seeks to control or influence your decisions. It might be subtle at first, guilt-tripping you into doing something you don't want to do, or using flattery to bend your will. But over time, this behavior becomes more obvious, leaving you questioning your own choices and losing your sense of autonomy. Constant manipulation doesn't only rob you of your independence, it robs you of your peace of mind. You begin second-guessing yourself, wondering if your actions are truly your own, or if you've been subtly steered in a direction that benefits someone else. This creates a cycle of doubt and anxiety, which is far from the foundation of a joyful, fulfilling life. True happiness comes from authenticity, from making decisions that align with your values and desires, not from being manipulated into someone else's agenda. Recognize manipulation early, and you'll protect your happiness and your peace. Number 3. Unreliable actions. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether it's with a friend, partner, or colleague. But when someone's actions are unreliable, that foundation begins to crumble. An unreliable person often promises one thing and delivers another, leaving you in a constant state of uncertainty. You start questioning their sincerity, wondering if you can truly depend on them. Think about the frustration that builds up when someone fails to follow through on their commitments. It's not just an inconvenience, it's an emotional drain. Your time, energy, and trust are compromised. Over time, the weight of unkept promises and broken expectations can leave you feeling disillusioned and anxious, robbing you of the peace you deserve. Happiness isn't just about achieving goals, it's about surrounding yourself with people who keep their word, who stand by their commitments. When you're in the presence of someone whose actions are unpredictable, it undermines your sense of security. Your inner peace is fragile when you're constantly forced to doubt those around you. True joy comes from knowing that you can rely on the people in your life, knowing that when they say something, their actions back it up. So, pay attention to those who can't keep their word. Your happiness depends on your ability to trust, and trust is built on consistent, reliable actions. Number 4. Lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's the emotional glue that binds relationships and fosters connection. A person who lacks empathy is incapable of feeling for others in a meaningful way. They don't care about your struggles, your triumphs, or your pain. Instead, they are indifferent, focused only on their own needs and desires. Think about the impact of being around someone who doesn't care how you feel. Every conversation becomes a one-sided affair. Their responses feel hollow, as though they're not truly listening or engaging with you. You may start to feel isolated, like you're pouring energy into someone who isn't willing to reciprocate. This emotional disconnect erodes your sense of well-being, leaving you questioning your value. Living in such an environment, where your emotions are ignored or dismissed, is draining. It prevents you from experiencing the deep, fulfilling connections that bring true happiness. A person who lacks empathy may only reach out when it benefits them, disregarding your emotional needs. True happiness is rooted in meaningful relationships, those built on mutual respect and understanding. When you recognize a lack of empathy in someone, it's time to reevaluate their role in your life. You deserve to be surrounded by those who truly care, who understand and nurture your emotional world. Number 5. Jealousy and resentment. Jealousy and resentment are powerful emotions that, when left unchecked, can poison relationships. People who harbor these feelings often disguise them as concern or even friendship, but their actions reveal the truth. They may subtly undermine your success or happiness, disguising their bitterness with passive-aggressive comments or sabotaging your efforts behind the scenes. Think about how it feels when someone around you is quietly resentful of your achievements or happiness. Instead of celebrating your victories, they pull back, criticize, or attempt to downplay your success. Over time, these actions leave you questioning the intentions of those around you. A life filled with jealousy is not a happy one. It's rooted in insecurity and a lack of contentment, and it doesn't allow for personal growth or joy. When someone near you feels threatened by your happiness, it becomes emotionally exhausting. You begin to feel like your joy is something to hide, which only stifles your personal growth and happiness. True happiness comes from surrounding yourself with people who genuinely want to see you succeed. People who celebrate your wins with you, not those who seek to tear them down. Recognizing jealousy and resentment early is essential to preserving your emotional health and ensuring that you remain on a path toward genuine happiness. Number 6. Toxicity and negativity. Negativity is more than just an occasional bad mood or a pessimistic thought. It's a mindset that seeps into every interaction and drains the energy of those around you. A toxic person constantly spreads negativity, whether through harsh criticism, cynicism, or an overall pessimistic outlook on life. When you're in their presence, it feels as though the air grows heavier and your emotional energy starts to diminish. Think about the last time you were around someone who radiated negativity. Did you feel energized or drained? Did you leave the conversation feeling uplifted or weighed down by their toxic perspective? Negative energy is contagious, and before you know it, your own thoughts start to mirror theirs. True happiness requires an environment that nurtures positivity and growth. When someone is constantly negative, it disrupts your peace of mind and hinders your ability to experience joy. Life is too short to spend time in relationships that suck the life out of you. You deserve to be around people who encourage your dreams, not those who make you doubt them. Choose to distance yourself from toxic, negative energy. Seek out people who uplift and inspire you. Happiness is nurtured in environments of light and positivity, not in the shadows of constant negativity. Let go of toxicity and make room for peace and joy. Number 7. Destructive behavior. Destructive behavior in a person is a clear signal that their intentions are not aligned with building meaningful, healthy relationships. Whether through betrayal, sabotage, or reckless choices, these actions can cause harm to those around them, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. A person who engages in destructive behavior isn't just causing temporary chaos. They are actively breaking down the bonds of trust and respect that relationships rely on. Think about how it feels when someone close to you betrays your trust. Perhaps they spread lies, manipulate situations, or make decisions that hurt you without considering the consequences. Each act of destruction leaves a scar, eroding your sense of security and peace. It creates an environment of fear and anxiety instead of one filled with love and support. Destructive behavior not only creates chaos in the lives of others, but ultimately leads the person engaging in it down a dark path. It's impossible to live a life of true happiness when you are constantly harming others or allowing yourself to be hurt by those around you. You deserve to have relationships built on trust, respect, and positivity, not on the rubble of hurtful actions. Protect your well-being by recognizing destructive behavior early and distancing yourself from those who choose to tear down rather than build up. True happiness can only thrive in environments of mutual respect and kindness. Number 8. Exploitation of vulnerabilities. An evil person often thrives by exploiting the vulnerabilities of others, taking advantage of their weaknesses, insecurities, or emotional fragility for personal gain. They may sense when you're at your lowest, and instead of offering support, they use this as an opportunity to manipulate, control, or demean you. This exploitation not only damages your confidence, but also erodes your sense of worth. Think about how it feels when someone preys on your vulnerabilities, when you open up seeking comfort or help, only to find that your trust is being used against you. It's a painful, isolating experience. These people may disguise their actions as concern or helpfulness, but their underlying intention is always self-serving. They gain power by making you feel smaller or more dependent on them. Living a life where you're constantly being exploited is not only exhausting, but it prevents you from growing into your best self. True happiness comes from relationships that empower you, not from those that make you feel weak or controlled. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up and accept you for who you are, not those who manipulate your vulnerabilities for their advantage. Recognize these exploitative behaviors early. Take a stand for your well-being and surround yourself with those who value and respect you, flaws and all. Your happiness depends on it. Number 9. Willingness to take responsibility. A person who refuses to take responsibility for their actions is someone who refuses to grow. When mistakes are made, whether small or large, they are quick to shift blame onto others, never owning up to their part in the situation. This lack of accountability doesn't just affect the immediate circumstance, it undermines the trust and respect in any relationship. Think about how frustrating it is when someone wrongs you or others yet refuses to take responsibility. Instead of acknowledging their mistake, they deflect or point fingers, making you feel as though the problem is always someone else's fault. This behavior stunts growth, both personal and relational, because without responsibility, there is no opportunity for improvement or healing. In a healthy relationship, whether with a friend, partner, or colleague, there is mutual accountability. Taking responsibility for one's actions fosters trust, respect, and a sense of shared understanding. When someone is unwilling to do this, it creates a toxic cycle of blame and resentment that can drain your happiness and peace of mind. You deserve relationships where both parties are willing to acknowledge their mistakes and learn from them. Only then can growth, trust, and happiness flourish. Don't let someone's refusal to take responsibility hinder your journey toward a life of fulfillment and inner peace. Number 10. Apathy toward moral values. Apathy toward moral values is a significant sign of an unhealthy or toxic person in your life. Someone who disregards fundamental principles like honesty, respect, and fairness is not just disconnected from ethical behavior. They are often willing to manipulate or harm others to serve their own needs. This lack of a moral compass can create an environment where selfishness and unethical actions flourish, poisoning the relationships around them. How it feels to be around someone who shows no concern for what's right or wrong. When their actions are driven solely by self-interest, they have no problem bending or breaking the rules to get ahead, regardless of the impact on others. This kind of behavior creates an emotional and mental drain, as it constantly forces you to question the integrity of those you interact with. True happiness is impossible when you surround yourself with people who lack a moral foundation. Integrity, kindness, and fairness are essential for building meaningful, lasting connections. Without them, relationships become transactional and hollow, void of genuine care or mutual respect. You deserve a life surrounded by individuals who honor the core principles of right and wrong, who value truth, and who hold themselves accountable. By recognizing apathy toward morals, you can protect your happiness and live authentically, with peace and joy at the heart of your relationships. Remember that the people you allow into your life shape your happiness and well-being. Recognizing the signs of toxic behavior, dishonesty, manipulation, jealousy, and others, empowers you to protect your peace. Surround yourself with those who uplift and support you, who live with integrity and kindness. You deserve relationships rooted in trust, empathy, and respect. By choosing wisely, you create an environment that nurtures your growth and joy. I encourage you to trust your instincts, let go of those who hinder your happiness, and step into a life filled with positivity. Good luck, and thank you for your time.